There's a city that hums even when the night goes quiet. A place where the air smells like magnolia and old whiskey, and the cobblestones are slick with stories that never really died. The lamps burn like candles for the dead, and every shadow feels alive. Some people come for the music, some come for the magic, and a few come for the blood. Because here, legends don't just haunt the streets, they sip from them. Tonight, we're tracing the stories that feed our obsession with the vampire. From the graveyards of Eastern Europe to a small New England town to a California apartment where a man believed his blood was turning to dust. So lock your doors, draw the curtains, and maybe don't invite anybody in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the spookiest season of Sisters of the Strange. I'm Landrey.
And I'm Shae, and I'm here to ruin your night.
Yay!
Yay! Or day, or morning, or evening, afternoon.
She's here to ruin your life.
Respectfully. Not on purpose, but like kinda.
But like maybe.
But like maybe a little bit. I don't think that I have anything precursory to talk about. I did get a little snippet of information from our friend Andrea, who's been following us from the very first day. She told me that her mother grew up near or in the town of the BTK killer and like knew people who knew him or like stuff like that.
Don't like that.
Very close to the case, it seems.
Yeah.
So I told her, I said, I'm going to need more information immediately.
Call your mom.
Yeah. Call your mom. Send me an email.
An email? Yeah, that's what they should be called. It's for me.
It's a email.
Send me an email. I like that.
It's cute.
Send us emails.
But yeah, I think that's really it as far as that goes. I feel like there was something else that I wanted to talk about too, and I don't remember what it was. I haven't watched the Ed Gein story yet, just because I have to like be in the mindset to watch that. And I've been doing this research, so.
We're locked in on podcasting right now because I'm leaving in 1 week. And I'll be gone for like the rest of October. So we've got to get everything done in the next week.
Yeah. And I'm really stressed about it because I have to be in charge of everything going out.
What do you mean?
No, all of your stuff's going to be done, but like I have to figure out how to post it.
Oh, I was just going to schedule it.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, that's why in the notes.
Well, the last time we talked about it before last night, I
said,
guess.
Yeah, you could potentially go to my house if you need to. I'll let you in my home. No, you could potentially go to my house and use my computer. But I figured if we just get everything done and get everything, but that's the thing is everything has to be edited within the next week as well. We got it. But yeah, we've been
locked in hard.
We're locking and loading here.
We got a lot of stuff to get out and a lot of stuff to do. I'm clearly slacking in the costume department. Landry's killing it.
I just had this at my house.
I'm obsessed with the top hat.
If this tells you what I do with my home at all. Well, I was just laying in bed last night and I was like, I know I have costumes. Go dig them out.
You're a queen. A true queen.
This hat is stuffed right now. Because if not, it falls over my eyeballs.
She's got like a whole pillow in there.
Yeah.
Not really, but.
It's a shirt. Just balled up on top of my head.
You got to do what you got to do for the content, okay?
For the plot.
Do it for the plot.
And I'm matching yours perfectly. I knew what you were doing this week, so I was like, we're taking the top hat.
Absolutely.
And a cape just goes with whatever.
Absolutely.
I could be Little Red Riding Hood. I could be a witch. I could be a vampire.
You could be Stevie Nicks. You're looking very Stevie Nicks currently.
Love that. That's the best compliment I've ever had in my whole life.
It's really giving. I kind of match the theme. I'm wearing my Mystic Falls High School Athletic Department shirt.
Those are the softest sweatshirts ever.
I love them.
So happy we bought them.
I bought 3.
I got 2, but they're really comfy.
Love, love, love.
Live, laugh, love.
Live, laugh, love. Live, laugh, toaster bath. Live, laugh, lobotomy. Yeah, I don't have anything.
Me neither.
You don't have anything?
Nope.
You ready to talk about this?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So we're taking a break from the satanic panic that I covered last week, but we're not leaving the dark. We're going straight for the jugular, literally.
Literally.
I love a good pun. We're talking about vampires. If you didn't catch that from the beginning, the myths, the medicine, the maniacs who pretty much caused all of this hysteria about... Hysteria? Is that the right word?
Uh-huh.
Okay. About vampires and their lore and made it all a little bit too real. If it is or not, I don't know. I still don't know what I believe.
Jared Leto.
Yeah, dude.
He's a vampire.
Tom Cruise is a vampire. I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that I'm pretty convinced are immortal. That's what we're going to talk about. So pour something red, maybe some wine, maybe some red juice. Just really set the vibe, okay? We're drinking blood. And that's where we're going with this.
You should have bought blood bags. What are you thinking?
Oh, man. What were we thinking? Oh, damn it. We didn't even buy blood bags when we went to Mystic Falls, bro.
No, because I think they ended up not being alcoholic. And I was like, why want alcohol?
Yeah, they were energy drinks.
Oh, yeah, because we already drank coffee. We already drank like 2 cups.
We had already been hyped up on coffee every day.
Yeah.
So we were like, we don't really want our hearts to explode.
Mm-mm.
You know? Anyway, we're going to start at the source with the folklore that made people dig up dead bodies.
Hell yeah.
So the word vampire, vampir, first appeared in Serbia in 1725, but the stories of vampires and their lore really it's ancient. Like it even starts back in like Mesopotamia and all those times, kind of like you talked about earlier.
Yeah.
There was a couple of different demons or entities that these tribes believed in that basically fed on women, particularly pregnant women and children. For their blood or their energies to maintain like eternal life, basically.
Doesn't that have to do with adrenochrome?
Kinda, yeah.
That's why it has to be like women, younger people.
Young women, yeah. Young women, children, or babies. Yeah, rock on. There was basically 2 different entities in each, like in the Romanian type Roman era and then the Mesopotamia era. That was like a million years ago. I don't concern myself with the dates of that or the names because they're too ridiculous, but just know that it is ancient. It was there. It's a lot. So in Romania, they called them, and they still call them strigoi.
Strigoi, yeah.
Strigoi, which means
like
strigoi
out of Twilight.
Yeah. They're restless spirits that crawled from their graves to feed on the living.
Delicious.
And they still call them that in Romania. So that's a lot where this lore starts. Obviously, of course, from there, they have like Vlad the Impaler and blah, 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 blah. Dracula. No pun intended. Dracula that what's the author's name? Oh my God, I'm the worst.
Bram Stoker.
Stoker, thank you. Yes. Writes Dracula, and vampires are like hoisted into Hollywood. Whatever. Anyway, that's more current times. In Poland and Bulgaria, they had upires and vampires with a Y. Vampires. Vampire. Same monsters, different accents, different stories, but they all feed on the blood of others or the energy of others to maintain their immortality or youth or eternal life. Vampires in this time were not glamorous. They were not pretty. They were not cute. They were ugly, horrible, horrific looking creatures, bloated, pale skin, corpses, dried blood on their lips and fingers and long nails and bleh.
Was that what Nosferatu was?
Yeah.
He looked scary.
He's a scary guy.
I didn't watch it all the way. I just wanted to see what he looked like.
Yeah, so
it was alluded to so much.
So like that old look of a vampire is the bald-headed, pointy-eared.
Did y'all ever watch SpongeBob where he's doing the lights? Isn't that Nosferatu?
Yeah.
The hash-slinging slasher.
Yeah.
Episode where he's like, tick, 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 and he's got bald.
Mm-hmm.
He's got like the trench coat on, his pointy ears, weird, scary teeth.
Yeah. Straight from the movie.
Yeah.
Straight from the Nosferatu movie. So they were not this like thing that we know to be today. They're not Damon Salvatore. Vampires are my favorite mythical creature.
Yeah, I would like to be one.
If I could be a vampire, I'm in. I am 100% in. You do not have to convince me for a single second.
As long as the love of my life
is also a vampire.
And as long as I've had a kid first. I have stipulations.
Fair. I want
to have a child, and they are also going to be a vampire, and I want my husband to be a vampire.
We're all going to be vampires, and we're all going to live
a
forever.
Vampire family.
Correct.
Yep. Might be safer to just be a vampire alone, though. Less heartbreak.
True. I don't know. I would love to be a vampire. I'm all about it. Okay? Let me just put that out there.
You're like, I do it. And I'm like, well, there's thoughts behind that.
I'm like, if I was presented with the opportunity, I'm taking it. And then whoever I want to be around me, I'm also going to make you a vampire. So sorry, love you, mean it, but you're going to die.
Delicious.
I want to suck your blood. We'll see how many vampire puns I can put in here today. We'll start counting. We're at like 4 already.
We're like 5.
So if you were a 1700s villager who just buried your Uncle Pete, 2 days later, your cows start to die. The weather's weird. Things are not right. Your neighbor looks a little pale. Uncle Pete's a vampire. So this is kind of where the lore starts. Things start going wrong. People start getting sick because in these times, tuberculosis, the plague, all these things are running rampant.
Yes.
And so these people are getting sick. People are dying. But then the people that are close to them get sick immediately after these people die. And so immediately everybody's like, this person that we just buried is coming back from the dead, obviously. There couldn't be anything else. This guy came back from the dead and now he's sucking the life out of you. That's why you are sick.
Yeah.
Huh? So they would dig up bodies. They would exhume all these people's bodies that they thought that had recently passed or had been dead for a while, but now their families are sick or people close to them are sick. If the bodies looked fresh, which to them meant that their hair was longer, their fingernails are longer, or they're growing, facial hair is growing, dried blood around the teeth and the mouth. Whenever people die, your body swells, okay? The skin shrinks, your hair looks longer, your nails look longer, and your body purges fluids naturally when you die.
Well, you all vampires.
So you dig up a body, there's gonna be something that you see that tells you that this person is a freaking vampire. But these people didn't know that back then, apparently. But this is like basic biology to me. I mean, it just makes sense. Anyway, that's true. That's the truth. Your body swells. And so they would dig these people up and they would either try to rebury them in a sense to where they couldn't rise again. So this is where they would put large chains and shackles on them. They would shackle their ankles only. They would bury them with a scythe like over their neck. So if they tried to raise, they would cut their head off.
Oh, hell.
They would stick rocks and stones in their mouth so that they couldn't like chew away their way out. I don't know. People were crazy back then. The mass hysteria that went on during this time period that we've been talking about for the last week is crazy.
I'm like, part of me is like so happy for the internet.
Yeah.
The other part of me is not. But part of me is a little bit happy about the internet.
I just don't understand how their brains just go 0 to 100 immediately.
Yeah,
you know?
I get it.
Please explain.
Modern world. What happened in the last
That's true.
That's
true. Fair enough. So when they would exhume these bodies of these people that they presumed to be vampires, they would see that they had blood on their mouth or their fingers were long or their hair was long, that they were still alive. They weren't dead. They were still living. And they were coming back at night to feed on these people who were also sick. So they would sometimes go as far as driving the wooden stakes through their heart, these dead bodies. They would decapitate them right then and there instead of burying them with a scythe. They would bury them face down. And then, like I said, they would jam bricks in their mouth. Whenever they would stab these bodies, like with a wooden stake, either in the, chest, abdomen area, heart, whatever. Again, when you decompose, you build up these gases in your body. And anytime that you exert pressure onto that or create a displacement of that pressure, those gases are going to expel somehow, and it's going to come out of the mouth, most likely. And it sounds like a living person. It makes a gurgling sound, or there's a large gasp, like it sounds like a last breath. There's groaning, moaning, and that's literally just gases expelling themselves. But these villagers and these people were convinced that these bodies were alive.
And that died of a heart attack.
They were vampires.
I would have died if someone stabbed someone in front of me and I didn't know the science behind it and it said, right. Oh, I'm out.
Isn't that crazy to think about? Yeah, but it's true. I mean, I don't know how much like crime stuff that you watch, but like when you see like a decomposed body, like
animals,
even
alone,
an animal,
like animals alone.
If you pop that, it's going to make a sound.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely makes sense.
Yeah. And so it's just all of that pressure and all of that gas expelling. So basically their motto was like, if we don't know, we're just going to go kill everybody in the cemetery, you know?
Kill everyone in the cemetery?
Yeah. Re-kill everybody in the cemetery because they're alive. They're vampires. Duh. Yeah. So that's like the old time vampire hysteria nonsense. They were digging up dead bodies every day and acting a fool.
Yeah.
Beyond. So we're going to fast forward a century over the ocean to New England in the 1800s.
Thick.
Like I had mentioned before, tuberculosis, or also known as consumption, is tearing through these towns, wiping out entire families. People look like hell. They're pale, they're weak, they're coughing up blood, and it spreads like wildfire.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at there. Everybody's sick as hell. Everybody's got TB, consumption. We're going to talk about a little bit about this case, the Mercy Brown case in Exeter, Rhode Island in 1892. The Brown family, everybody's dying. Mom's dead, and the 19-year-old daughter, Mercy Brown, dies. Her little brother, Edwin, gets sick soon after her. The neighbors start talking. Everybody in town's talking. Somebody's sucking the life out of this kid. He looks like shit. It's got to be a vampire. They dig up her grave, Mercy's grave. They find her body. She's still intact, and her body is still pink, and her heart is full of blood. She was buried in the wintertime, and the ground was frozen. Do with that information what you will. She was very well preserved. But these people are freaking out over it, and the fear takes over everybody. They dig her up. They burn her heart. They take her heart out of her body, burn it, mix the ashes of her burned heart into a tonic for the little brother Edwin to drink to heal him.
Okay, witch cake.
Right. It's so similar. The way that these people were acting about this. He dies anyway. Doesn't cure him. Can you believe it?
Wow. It's almost like he had tuberculosis.
Whoa. That's crazy. So Mercy Brown becomes known as America's last vampire in the 1890s.
Okay, well, there's still vampires today.
Period. But imagine like some crazy witch lady in your town being like, I made this for you. Out of your sister's burned heart, you need to drink it.
This.
You will live.
And he did it.
And he did, and he died.
I would have been like, I'm going to die.
I'm good.
I wouldn't even be able to swallow that.
Yeah. Yeah. Ew. That tastes nasty, bro.
Well, just the thought of it. Just knowing. Well, like sometimes even when I'm like cooking raw meat, after I cook it, I'm like, God, I just don't think I can eat that. Just looking at it sometimes, you know?
Yep. Or you like get one bite and you're like, I'm good.
Chicken.
I'm no longer hungry.
I do that with chicken.
I do too.
And I know what chicken, I know what chickens are made of. No, I just like, I judged chickens, so I understand like a lot more about chickens than people should probably, I guess.
That's true. I always forget about that.
Oh, you know, like the white part that everyone cuts off the chicken breast? It's literally just like rib meat. It's just like the fat that was between the ribs and the breast itself. Is it disgusting to look at and think about? Absolutely. But I like know what it is. Or like, I don't like dark meat, even though it tastes better on chickens than light meat. And it's just the difference of movement. Quite literally, it is the difference of movement. It's called myoglobin. And it's just the fact that they moved their legs more than they moved their freaking wings. That's why the wings are lighter colored. And sometimes they'll be darker, but it's only if a chicken was moving around a lot. But the legs is more movement, so it makes them darker.
Wow. That's poultry lessons with Landrey. I didn't know that.
That's literally it, and it grosses me out.
Wow.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Teach about eggs too if you want.
We'll save that for another time.
Y'all ever want an episode on chicken? No, kidding.
We need to do a poultry episode. I know a girl. So where were we? America's last vampire. All right. So I just couldn't. Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Eating.
So like you said,
sister.
eating it. Like you don't think you could even say that. Like people have like I've heard it said before that like humans should not be able to consume another's blood. Like it makes people ill. It makes you sick to do that. So the only, logical option would be a dead person to be able to do that because they don't have blood essentially.
Oh, because they're drained of blood.
Coursing through their body. Yeah,
So they're not mixing blood.
You're not mixing the blood, yeah. I don't know, that's just weird. Because they are damn sure people who be consuming some blood. We'll get into that.
I'm like, yes, sir. I got like 5 people in my head right now, but I am not trying to get sued.
Huh? Oh, you're still talking about adrenochrome.
Are you kidding
me? These people are the Illuminati. Oh my God, we're going to get killed now.
Yeah, no, just take that all out. Take that all out. I'm not doing it. Take it all out.
I'll just blur it out. I'm just going to bleep it.
Yeah, read our lips. Hell no.
Oh my God, we're gonna die.
That's why I said no. NDA that shit. Take it out.
We crossed the line. So as science caught up a little bit, a pattern starts to emerge. The people start to realize that this vampire legend might just be disease in disguise, as I've mentioned. So a few different kinds of diseases in this time that people were afraid of. Rabies. It's transmitted by bite, saliva. It causes you to be sensitive to sunlight, causes you to be very aggressive. So vampire.
Spread by bats, which are also vampires.
Which are also, hello. Porphyria, never heard of this before, but apparently causes your skin to burn easily in the sunlight. Your gums start to recede and your teeth like take this like red color.
Oh, I have that.
To look like you. No, you don't.
Oh, the lights are red and my gums are receding.
Oh,
so
you're like, but yeah, I thought that was interesting about the skin burning in the sunlight one because I always wondered where that came from.
Skin
so
of
this
a killer,
disease,
Bella.
yeah, this is the skin of a killer, Bella. Number 6,
Drink every time. Coffee, water, I don't care.
blood.
That's not funny.
The big one, tuberculosis, pale, thin, drained.
Coughing blood.
People, coughing up blood. People were not sleeping during the night, can't breathe, can cause you to hallucinate when things get really bad, when you get really sick from the fever, basically those types of things. And then the decomposition piece of it where the gases and the fluids build up in a dead body, making people think that, oh, they're alive and they're feeding because I can see the blood coming from their mouth. They were awake last night feeding on the living. So basically all this time, this vampire lore was just infection and bad lighting. And the vampire myth is basically built on a misunderstanding of basic human anatomy and biology.
Wow.
But you're not gonna sway me. I love vampires.
They are real.
They're real. As far as evidence goes for vampires, there's not really any real proof of vampires, but there's plenty of proof of people believing in vampires. So in Venice, in 2009, archaeologists found a 16th century skeleton on the island of Lazaretto Nuovo, which was a plague graveyard type island.
Like Pavaglia Island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's exactly what I thought about whenever I read that. They dig up this corpse, this skeleton, and it had a brick jammed in its mouth. So that lore is considered to be proven.
Do you know how big bricks are? 8 inches by 2 inches,
Yeah,
my guys.
I couldn't get a brick in my mouth.
That's dislocating someone's jaw.
Yeah, for sure. But that was so that they couldn't chew their shrouds, whatever that means.
That's also what I chew on. My shrouds.
Yeah. These people were scared, though. These people were terrified of vampires.
I'd be like, bite me.
I'm like, come find me.
Yeah, leaving my door open.
I know what you are. I can't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Okay, this skeleton, the skull had a brick jammed in its mouth. And like I said, they believed that stopped the death from chewing their shrouds and spreading the plague continuously. Polish vampire burials. Like I kind of mentioned in the beginning, there were skeletons found with sickles was the word I was looking for, not scythe. Sickles across their throats and padlocks on their ankles.
What's a sickle?
The thing with the little handle, but it's like
That's what like a
sharp.
scythe is too, though.
Well, the scythe is
long?
the long one that like you would see with like the.
Oh, I didn't know there was a difference. The Grim Reaper.
Grim Reaper, yes.
Okay.
I think, unless it's backwards. I could have that backwards.
I think the Grim Reaper had a scythe.
Scythe, yeah. So that's the long one.
Okay.
Yes. And then the short one with the very curved blade is a sickle.
Interesting. Okay.
So they would bury people with that across their throats, like on either side, so that if, like I said, if they tried to rise from the dead, they would just slice their head off. The Connecticut vampire, also known as JB55, in Griswold, Connecticut, archaeologists found a skeleton rearranged in the ground into a skull and crossbone shape. They tested the body and it tested positive for tuberculosis. But at the time, it seems that when he was buried this way, the locals had dug him up, exhumed his body, and neutralized him and broke his ribs and pulled out his heart, burned it.
You know what's weird to me? The time frame concept of tuberculosis and vampires does not, at the same time, to me.
Does not track.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Vampires to me is the Dracula, Romania. So the thought of the time frame being that like close, weird.
It's wild. Yeah, these timelines when you think about it like this. But That's like where they get this look from. Like their lore stems from all of this disease and sickness. And like, I don't believe that, let me rephrase that. Tuberculosis and the plague, I feel like a lot of the time people like interchange the two, you know, because they're similar-ish. That's a whole lot of science and stuff that I don't want to get into, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It could be some of these things were more of like the plague rather than tuberculosis, but
still the time frame for that just seems crazy to me. In conjunction, the time frame just does not register for me like that.
Yeah. When I think of like original vampires, I think the same. Vlad the Impaler, Dracula, like Romania, Transylvania, all back then.
All the Vanias.
All the Vanias. Romania. Did I say that already?
I think.
I don't remember. I was watching a little clip, something on YouTube earlier. They were at like a museum in Transylvania showing all of the like medieval torture devices that they used on these vampires, people who they believed to be vampires. They had like the torture chamber thing that had like the spikes in it. Yeah. They had that. What else was on there? They had
They're like muzzles.
Yeah, like the spiked muzzles. They kind of used that as well. There was a wooden chair. It wasn't really a chair, but it had like holes in the top of it. And they would put their ankles in it and hang them from it upside down and try to like expel the demons from them.
Sick.
That they presumed to be vampires. So there was like the lore of the fact that they were rising from the dead and they were vampires. And then there was the lore that they were
like demonic
and they were possessed by the devil. Because everything comes back to the devil.
Anything bad.
Yeah. But as I was doing this, I was like, wow, a lot of this sounds very, very closely to
the witch
all
trials.
Of the witch trials. It was just, we don't know what to blame it on. So couldn't be science.
No. Who thinks rationally?
In the 1700s? Who could that be?
Without the internet?
God, what a time to be alive. Oof. So that's kind of like the pieces of things that not necessarily proves a vampire can be real, but the hysteria that surrounded vampires at the time, that people were truly so afraid. It's kind of like the same as the witch trials. There was never really any proof of anything. No evidence, but so much fear of these creatures that are they real or are they not?
Yeah.
You know? It's a hard question to ask. So moving on to New Orleans.
Nola.
I
want to go.
I do too. Especially after doing this even more. This is crazy. If vampires have a capital city, like true people who believe that they are vampires and practice vampirism, I don't know if that's the right word. It's New Orleans.
The originals.
Right. So between its voodoo roots, above ground graves, and obsession with death, it's basically this perfect storm of mystery and myth and vampires. So in the 1720s, there were many young women who arrived from France to marry colonists in the quarters. So basically, these women were coming from overseas, traveling on boats for months at a time, promised that they were going to have these lavish lifestyles and all of these men were rich and they needed wives and there wasn't enough women in the colonies and they needed to reproduce and create more colonies and families and things. So they were basically shipping these women in to be married off. But it wasn't like arranged marriages or anything. Like they just get there and then you have to choose a husband.
Yeah.
So they carried these long coffin-shaped chests. Now, I don't know if they were... Some of the stuff that I saw, they're like handheld chests that had their belongings in them, which doesn't seem right to me.
It's like the chest.
It's like a hope chest, like a big chest.
Yeah. It's what they would wear. Their dresses.
Yes.
Everything like that would go in those. And that
You
was
talked about him before.
with H.H. Holmes.
Yes.
Because he moved the girl's chest out and then her body was in it.
Yes.
But
Correct.
that's how they knew like you married off was like your chest would just move out of your home and you'd have all your stuff in it. Almost like a cedar chest type situation as well.
Yeah, like a hope chest. Like what I would think of like a hope chest. You have all of your like important belongings that need to stay with you in there.
Yeah.
Dresses, linens, personal affects, things like that.
Why do I know this? Like I know that these women did that. And I think it wasn't necessarily only just that there wasn't enough women in the colonies, but it was like almost like the religion thing as well. There wasn't people that were in the same beliefs and they needed more people of the same like beliefs and desires also to be brought in.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens. That's why New Orleans built. That's why there's so much of a French population there. It's the French Quarter. And that's why there's so much of like a Creole situation and things like that going on there.
Yeah. The mixing pot, the mixture. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have these long chests. Some people say they're coffin shaped. I think that's drama. They're just chests. Whatever. These women have them with them.
Mm-hmm.
Also, mind you, they were on a boat for 2 months. Okay. These beautiful young women who were beautiful young women when they got on this boat were not so beautiful young women when they got off this boat. They were underneath in the like barracks of the boat. No sunlight, horrible sanitation, no to none, basically. Just horrible conditions for like 1 to 2 months at a time before they get there. So they get off this boat. Now they're pale. They stink. They're sick.
Yeah.
And then these people are like, what the hell? What is that? Jump scare.
Yeah.
Exactly. So locals start to whisper that they were shipping in vampires to their town.
Well,
there's a lot of history in between this, a lot of like blah, blah, blah stuff. But basically, there's this place in New Orleans called the Ursuline Convent. And it's this big, beautiful building, long, big, huge building where they basically take these women in to stay. Because now they get there and all these people are like, I don't want to marry her. What is this? What is this? What is that? So they take these women in and it's run by Catholic nuns. And they just nurse them back to health. They keep them there. Some of them die. Some of them don't make it. All of those things. So now this building is rumored to be so haunted because these vampires came in, took over this convent, and a lot of like tours and stuff in New Orleans will take you by this place. And the very top of the building, like the top floor, the shutters and the windows are all boarded and nailed shut. And that's been that way since like back then. And so people have whispered and talked about it, kind of like the Baker Hotel lore and things like that. There's just a lot of unknown that went on there. And so it's like this huge piece of the vampire lore.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds familiar.
That this is where the vampires lived. If you saw the building, you would know what I'm talking about.
I'm like, it all just sounds very familiar. I don't think I've ever done vampire research, but I'm like,
it's very interesting.
Maybe I lived in that time period. Maybe I'm reincarnated.
Yeah, maybe you just know. If you're a vampire, you would tell me, right? Look at me right now. Tell me the truth.
Considering we've aged together.
Kinda.
I've only known you my whole life.
Since we were 3 months old.
Crazy concept there.
Yeah, but we could have turned into vamp. Whatever. Don't get me started.
I'll let you know.
Okay, thanks.
I'll keep you posted.
Thank you.
I'm like, joke's on you. I just like turn around and fly away.
Turn into a bat. I just pass out on the floor.
No, you chase me. Please. Please. Me.
Oh my God.
This world sucks. I do not want to be a vampire in this world. Okay?
No, I do want to be a vampire because then I can go wherever I want. You can go wherever you want.
I'm pretty sure everywhere in the world sucks right now.
All of a sudden, like when you become a vampire, all of a sudden you have all the money in the world. You're rich as hell. And you can travel wherever you want. I don't know where the money comes from.
Generations of being alive.
Oh, okay. You're right.
But you also can steal whatever you want to steal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just make them forget.
Yeah. Unless they're wearing vervain.
God.
Garlic.
Well, today's vampires say garlic is delicious. Delicioso.
Delicioso.
Moving on to the next vampire of New Orleans. The next vampire story of New Orleans. Oh, man. I forgot how to say this name. Jacques? Jacques? Saint Germain. Jacques. It's French.
I thought it was just like Jacques.
Jacques. There's an S at the end.
Oh.
Jacques. Saint Germain. Sounds good.
Sounds very familiar.
He's a big vampy guy.
Vamp guy.
He's a big vamp guy.
I'm having flashbacks. PTSD.
Or in the early 1900s. What are you looking at?
I'm just thinking about his name.
Okay. You've probably heard it before.
I know, but I'm like, how do you say it? I just would say Jacques.
Jacques. In the early 1900s, this man appears in the French Quarter calling himself Jacques. That doesn't sound right. Jacques Saint Germain, claiming to be the descendant of an immortal count, which it was also Count Saint Germain from however long ago. This man was normal looking, good looking, not super tall. He was like average height. I don't know why that's important, but everybody talks about how he was like not tall.
I think vampires were known to be like tall.
Yeah.
Like how Bill Skarsgård just played Nosferatu. He's supposed to be super tall.
Yeah.
I think that was just
Dracula
part of their
was
lore.
tall. Yeah. Maybe it's just the coat that makes him look tall. The
I
cape.
don't know, because even if you watch Hotel Transylvania, Drac on there's tall.
Mm-hmm.
think it's part of their lore. It's just to be like superhuman.
Towering,
superhuman.
Yeah. And they're always like tall and lanky. Anyway, this man arrives in the French Quarter claiming to be this descendant of this immortal count who was also allegedly to be a vampire or a vampire-like person. But this guy was known to throw these lavish parties in his home in the French Quarter. Nobody ever saw him eat anything. He only drank red wine. And there was an account of a guest who escaped and tried to jump off of the balcony of his place in the quarter and was screaming and trying to get away, claiming that he tried to bite her. It gets reported. There's no like actual physical report of this, but apparently it gets reported to the police, and allegedly they show up and they find bloodstained linens in his house, and in the wine cellar there's all these bottles of all these wines, just tons and tons of bottles of wine. A police picks one up, he drops one, and it's like this thick congealed liquid, dark red, not like thin wine. So it's said that was blood in his wine cellar. So this guy, they're like, he's definitely a vampire, but he was very elusive and he didn't really converse with a lot of people, but he always threw these parties. Like, it reminds me of Gatsby. Like everybody knew of him, but nobody really knew him type thing. But after this, he basically disappeared and was never seen again. Nobody ever heard from him or saw him again. People now say that they claim to see him walking on Royal Street in New Orleans, whether that be his spirit who came back to haunt in New Orleans or it's him returning.
Reliving.
Yeah. Ugh. And he wears like a long dark trench coat.
What I would give to be that elusive character. I love that.
Same.
Lonely life.
But like, you just get to do whatever you want.
That little thing right there sparked something in me.
How
she was like, he tried to bite my neck. So, you know how like, I mean, at least in Vampire Diaries, but there's more vampire shows than that. But like, it's always like a sign of like real, true romance whenever you're like doing things with your vampire man, girl, whatever, and they bite your neck. It's supposed to be like very like sacrificial kind of. Maybe that came from the idea that just like whenever you do stuff with a person, you bite their neck. Like,
like where does that come from?
But do you not like when you're making out with a dude? Like maybe she was like, he's biting my neck. And he's like, whoa, brother, I'm just advanced for my time. Like,
I was just trying to get some, girl.
Yeah, I was just trying to like do something to you, honey.
If you don't like that, let me know.
Yeah, but it's also like, okay, blood on the sheets. And what about it? Women back then.
There could be
women back then just like bled in the bed. Like they didn't wear pads and tampons and things.
Everything was gross.
But it's also like, what if he just did stuff with a girl who's never done stuff before?
Yeah, hello.
I don't know how to explain the thick ass wine, but like, I don't know.
That's alleged information. We don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, but just the thought of like, she's like, oh my God, he bit my neck. I'm like, well, were you making out or what?
Or did he just like,
I'm hungry. Come here.
Come here, girl.
Yeah, I need more context for that, but I like him. I want to be him. I want to be the elusive character that's like having the parties and you're just like holding a glass and you're just kind of roaming throughout and then you just disappear.
You just disappear and you're gone.
I would love that. Mysteriously show up thousands of years later. Like,
what a life. Yeah, and he still looks the same, you know? There's another story of the Carter brothers this is a 1930s legend story. Basically, a girl escapes from their apartment, running around, flailing around like a crazy person, escaping. Her wrists were cut, and she told people that they were drinking her blood.
I was just checking. Make sure everything's good.
They were drinking her blood. Police supposedly go and investigate, and they find more victims inside, chained up, locked up in a dark room, alive, but they were all very, very weak.
Oh.
These brothers were arrested and tried and executed, and their tombs were found later empty. And there's no real documentation of this, but every tour guide in the quarter swears by this story.
Okay, I was cool with I wasn't cool with them killing people. The tomb's empty though? That's a little not for me.
That's sus.
But if you wanted to be a really crazy person and be like, yo, when I die, exhume my body because this is going to be funny as hell.
Everybody's good thing I'm a vampire.
Yeah, like if you could like really plot that out, but like if not,
Where are they?
we are sisters that would like to be vampires, but like I don't just like want to be dying in a room by myself or anything like that. So
Yeah, I agree. That I don't like that lore.
no.
I don't like that lore. But it is scary.
Now I'm like, how fast can they get here? Because like, can they hear me right now?
They got supersonic hearing. So let's talk about New Orleans' modern vampire culture.
Smash.
Immediately. This is where the myth of vampires meets reality in New Orleans. So there are real life vampires in New Orleans. People who identify as vampires are also called sanguinarians.
Okay.
Sanguinis means blood. They drink small, sterile amounts of blood from consenting donors. So this is like a consensual practice of this community in New Orleans. There was a documentary on the History Channel. I don't remember what it's called. I'm so sorry. But there is this man named Balthazar. He lives in New Orleans. He's a well-known vampire in the community. He goes by Czar.
Yeah.
And he claims to have seen Jacques at some point. He does not claim that he is immortal, but he does claim that he has to drink human blood to feel normal.
Yeah.
And what they do is they have these consenting adults who offer their blood to this community. And they do it very very clean, very sterile. They use sterile instruments. He doesn't like bite them to suck their blood or anything or cut them. What he does is he cleans with alcohol. He takes this little like puncture tool and he punctures like a couple little holes in one little spot and then just takes a little bit of blood and that's it. Puts a Band-Aid on them.
Huh.
Obviously, these people have to be like extensively tested for
like HIV
bloodborne
and all that
pathogens
and
and things like that. Illness. He claims, this Czar vampire guy claims that he was awoken as a vampire when he was 11 years old. He was in an altercation with his uncle, I believe. They kind of get into a little bit of a scuffle and he decides that he's going to bite him. And he bites him on the arm through his jacket and tastes blood for the first time. And he's like, that's it.
Love that.
He's like, this is amazing. Yeah. And so he says that whenever he doesn't drink blood, if he goes for a while without having anything, his skin turns really pale. He feels weak. He's tired. But whenever he's microdosing human blood, basically, he's like completely normal.
I wonder if there's something like once you start doing it, your body does think like
adapt to it.
We need that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like an addiction to like a soda or alcohol. Like people who really indulge in alcohol, when you stop, you get pale and shaky.
Yeah,
and
you get sick.
Drugs and things like that. So I wonder if blood could have that same effect.
Mm-hmm. It definitely could. But it's also very dangerous to consume, like I said before, other people's blood because, one, you don't know if there's some sort of bloodborne pathogen, but also like it can cause you to become very, very ill as far as like mixing and things like that.
That's very interesting.
So yeah, they have this whole like community of this and it's very like well known. It's not like this secret society. Yeah. Like they're just like open about it. And they also have what's called psychic vampires who basically just claim that they feed off of others' energy. They don't physically feed on humans, but they will take energies from people.
Almost like an empath.
Mm-hmm. Which is kind of interesting.
I like that.
Apparently they have like their own little like clans and they have different names for them and things like that with elders, codes, consent procedures and rules and all those things. There's also a vampire court of New Orleans, which is alleged to have actual royalty involved.
Yeah.
And they host charity galas, fundraisers, and even a legendary endless night vampire ball where people come from all over the place to attend. And people dress up in like, vampiric elaborate costumes and like era style.
Yeah.
The steampunk style, gothic style, just all over.
That'd be so
people come
cool to
and it's
see.
like an all night thing and they do it in October every year.
Do you have to be like of this vampire code as well, or can like
I don't
everybody?
think so. I think everybody is invited because it's like a gala, like a fundraising gala. Hello. You're gonna be leaving next October. It's in October every year.
Okay.
Let's go next year. Slay. Big slay. Locals in the area of New Orleans and the French Quarter still claim to have met vampires. People swear that they meet vampires and they're like, something was wrong about this person. I don't know what it was, but I was getting some vibes. There was a story of a bartender who tells of a pale man who left with no reflection in the mirror behind the bar. And there's another one where a tourist wakes up in the morning with 2 perfect punctures after a night out on Bourbon Street. That people are like, well, she probably got bit by some mosquitoes, but like, it's kind of interesting to think about.
Yeah.
2 perfect puncture marks. Usually mosquito bites don't have a puncture mark. It's just like a welt, you know?
Or perfectly.
Yeah. Side by side.
Yeah, like perfectly placed.
It was a vampire.
Be so for real. Mosquitoes aren't real.
Be so for real.
Mosquitoes aren't real, but vampires are.
Exactly. Thank you.
Technically, mosquitoes are vampires.
True. They be drinking blood. Oh my God, you're so smart.
Except they're not in a pact or in an order.
Maybe vampires aren't bats. They're mosquitoes. I would be a vampire by now, unfortunately.
Been bit way too many times for that.
Unfortunately.
I'm so sorry for the people that listen to us because our thoughts. Caden said sometimes he can't listen to us because we're both like, well, I don't know. And he's like, where's the answer? And I'm like, I don't know.
We don't know. That's why we do what we do. We're not always here to give you the answers.
No, I need you to give me the
I need
answer.
you to help me get the answer.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So the lore behind the New Orleans vampires is really, really cool. I think that they have like their own society and it's safe. People aren't harming others, but they're not like the mythical vampires that you
No, it's like organized.
know and love. Yeah, it's more like an identity as a person.
Yeah.
Which is really cool, I think. But they're not, they're like, oh, we eat garlic. Holy water doesn't affect me. Like, it's not that type of.
It's not like evil.
Yeah. Right.
That's what it's believed to be. That's why they would say like holy water. I don't necessarily know garlic, but holy water would be like an evil thing. So it's not evil. They're just.
They're just people
who
like to drink blood. Go off, king and queen.
There's people who like to eat paper and mattresses and have sex with cars.
Cornstarch.
So.
Yeah, my strange addiction. Yeah. For real.
So they're doing just fine.
So let's talk about the most exciting part. Not really. I think the lore is actually the most exciting part, but I have to add this in here too because this is just who I am as a human being.
Okay.
We have to talk about real vampire murderers also. Just some 3 quick little stories. These are like the big 3 that we're just going to run down really quick. So number 1 is probably the most heard of and the most well known. His name is Richard Chase, also known as the Vampire of Sacramento. In California, 1977, Richard Chase was a very disturbed schizophrenic man who believed his blood was turning to powder and that his heart was going to disintegrate. On his psychotic delusions, he began drinking the blood of animals and then quickly escalated to drinking the blood of people, murdering 6 people in 1 month. Police arrested him. They found a blender full of blood and organs in his apartment.
Oh, good Lord.
He was convicted, sent to prison, and then later took his life while he was in prison. But he fully believed, due to the unfortunate diagnosis of his schizophrenia and his psychotic mental breakdown, that if he did not drink the blood of these humans, he was going to die.
Okay.
So he did. That's what he did. The voices were telling him.
Well, I'm going to listen.
Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like the fact that I'm a vampire. It was
internal.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. Okay.
Crazy.
Organs just in a blender.
Yeah. Hello?
I bet that cop was like, ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah. Again, California, 1970s. Please. He was probably at least top 5. At least top 5.
Yeah.
Also, he was arrested in Reno, Nevada, in Washoe County, which is very nearby where all my family lives.
And Grandpa was on SWAT.
Mm-hmm. Need to ask him about that.
I was going to say, you need to do an episode asking Grandpa of his like SWAT stories.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember with the one about the cat and the bag with the human and the apartment and the closet.
Yes,
and
yes.
Yeah.
I got a grandpa who's got some stories.
Mm-hmm.
Next guy, our next little vampire guy, Rod Farrell, is also known for the Vampire Clan. This was in Kentucky in 1996. He was 16 years old at the time. Rod Farrell claimed that he was a 500-year-old vampire named Visago.
1996?
1996. He led a small goth group called the Vampire Clan who participated in blood rituals, rebellion, and things kind of went wrong at one point. Farrell murdered his friend's parents in a twisted ritual. This was in Florida. They went to Florida. Don't know why. Murdered this kid's parents. because he was a vampire and they needed to do this ascension ritual. So the media, being the media in the 1990s, satanic panic, things are, making full circle. Vampire cult, goth kids. He was sentenced to death, later reduced to life. So he did not get the death sentence, but he did initially. Crazy, crazy kid.
Sounds a little out there.
This one is very interesting as well. This is the last true killer we're going to talk about. This one's very interesting to me. Fritz Harman, the Vampire of Hanover. So this was Germany, 1918 to 1924. Fritz Harman prowled train stations for runaway boys and homeless young men, specifically. He would lure them into his place with food and shelter, and then he would kill them by biting through their throats. Like he was full on, not just I want to drink their blood. He was ripping their throats out with his teeth.
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
I don't even have words. I'm just thinking about my jugular being ripped out with teeth.
Ouch. Yeah, this was a sick man. So he would chop them up into little bits and dispose of them into a river, and remains started washing up in the Lean River, and police finally caught him. He confessed to at least 24 murders, but we're not sure. There's probably more. And he was executed in 1925, thankfully.
How are you going to rip someone's throat out to drink their blood and then just not go ahead and eat the rest of their body?
He said that it was an accident, like a love bite gone too far.
Over 24 times?
Accidentally. You only get one of those accidents, buddy.
I think I could be a vampire because sometimes you can ask my husband, you could, like, I don't want his blood or anything like that.
Just
but
bite.
Like, you could ask him. I used to bite him all the time. And he was like, okay, over that. Like actually just bite him. Like I just walk up to him and just like bite him. And he was like, why are you doing that? And I'd be like, I just kind of wanted to feel like what it would feel like. Like that sounds very like serial killer of me. And I promise I'm not. But like,
I've definitely done that.
I was like, I just wanted to like know what it would. He's got such pliable, soft skin.
Yeah. I just wanted a little bite.
I just wanted to.
That's it. That's all.
People are like, no, never felt that way before.
No.
Sorry to the audience.
So sorry. But yeah, so the vampire lore is very interesting. I truthfully don't know if I think vampires are real. If I do, they are residing in New Orleans.
I think they're real, but I think that there's the one like, you mean the guy you just talked about, who has like his actual clean situation. There's him. And then there's the people who do like the adrenochrome, which is like vampirism. There's definitely people who do that. So
yeah, absolutely. That's a big conspiracy that we're not sure if we should touch or not.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to get into that.
But if you want us to, please let us know.
Let us get like a lawyer first. Let us get like insurance on the podcast
a little bit more
first.
Established.
Yeah, let us get some insurance on the pod. I've thought about that. I'm like, we talk about some dangerous shit. We should probably get insurance for the podcast. We have it. No, but I definitely think there is. I don't know about the whole immortality thing. I think that'd be a very cool thing to consider. But I almost wonder if the immortality side of it is not necessarily someone who has that, or if it is like the Katerina and Elena, or if it is someone who's just kind of in your bloodline and gets born to look like the exact same as you. And so they end up having like the same habits as you in a weird way, almost like a doppelganger situation.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would think more of that rather than like, I would think of the guy's spirit more than immortality.
The guy that I talked about, Saint Germain. So the original Count Saint Germain. There's a lot of theories that this Jacques Saint Germain is it's the same person.
Okay.
Just decades later because he's a vampire.
Yeah.
And so he's created this new name and persona to
I don't know what that was either.
Deter people from it is getting dark. To deter people from him thinking he's actually a vampire.
Interesting. What? Oh, I just felt like it was actually on the other side of the wall. It felt like something like fell in there.
Oh no, I hear scratching.
Oh, I thought I heard something like fall in there.
I'm not liking that. But then there's also the theory of this Saint Germain guy that he had many young apprentices of himself that he trained to be him, basically, and to just continue on and on and on and on.
Walking,
and each one had their own apprentice, like so on and so forth.
Interesting.
So like he just continues to live on through that type of spirit versus it being the same person.
I just don't feel like our bodies whether we ate enough blood of somebody else or not or whatever. I just don't feel like our bodies are actually capable of
being immortal
that long.
Yeah.
I just don't think our skin, our hair, like I just don't think it is pliable for that.
Yeah, the immortality piece of it is interesting. I don't think that is possible.
I don't know, but that's the biggest lore behind it is that the people are looking the exact same.
They never age.
Never age.
Yeah. So for our closing reflection, from Serbian dirt to New Orleans velvet, from plague pits to penthouses, the vampire endures. It's not just a monster. It's a mirror. It's our fear of disease, of death, of time, and our secret wish to beat all three. It's desire, addiction, power, loneliness, and that's why vampires never die. They just adapt. So we're all just trying to live forever, basically.
Not me. No, I totally would, but I'd have stipulations on that.
Yeah, like really forever? Like forever, ever?
I wouldn't mind it, but like sometimes the world sucks. So like I really would hope that there would be a better place for me to go when one part of the world was really shit. I would hope there was a better place I could go.
Yeah.
And again, I really want to be a mom. So like,
we gotta do that first.
I gotta have kids first, and I gotta be able to turn my husband into a vampire because there's no freaking way on the planet I want to live without my husband.
No. Amen.
So
yeah, he's gonna be a vampire immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately. Me too. Absolutely.
What would your role be to become a vampire?
And would you become a vampire? Cite your sources. APA format.
Yeah. I don't even know what that looks like anymore, so don't worry about me.
I don't either. It's okay. But yeah, if you have anything on vampires, that's all I've got for the vampires thus far. If you have any more information, please let us know. If you've ever seen a vampire, if you live in New Orleans, please give me all of the lore.
Love.
I need it. I need it in my life because I love vampires. They're my favorite mythical creature. And I just want to meet one. Just one time.
I feel that.
That's all it takes, you know?
My favorite mythical creatures are sirens. And
okay.
I've been called a siren one time, and I was like, that was the most romantic thing you could have ever said.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think that's it.
Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe. If you have anything you'd like to share, send it to sistersofthestrange@gmail.com. And I guess we'll see you next week.
Next week, we're going to be diving into a different kind of monster. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but until then, sleep tight. And if someone knocks on your window tonight, don't let them in. Bye.
You.